Oops.
You guys have any questions? Give me some questions.
What's your name?
My first name is Eric. That's what the E stands for.
You're quite small. What a big papa.
Interesting question. I was doing poetry around 97. I was doing poetry in the Bay Area, which is like San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose. It's this area in Northern California that's very progressive, very multicultural. It's an awesome place. And I was doing, it was around 97, and no, it was about 99, and Biggie Smalls died in 97, I think. That's when he got shot. Notorious B.I.G. And he has that song, I love it when you're gonna be big papa. Hands in the air, you're the true player. And that song was still hella popular at the time, right? And I was doing this poem, it was kind of hip-hop influence and stuff. And, you know, it was this bragging poem around 10 foot tall and luminous, and it has this sort of a beat to it. And a lot of times when I'm up on stage, you can't really, you can't really tell I'm so little until I get off stage and the people are like, damn. So it's kind of like, I kind of like got a bigger person inside me. So somebody said, go Big Papa, go. And everybody started going, I love it when you go Big Papa. And so it just kind of stuck. From then on, everybody called me Big Papa. It's like people who had known me as Eric for 10 years, suddenly, boom, Big Papa. And so the E just kind of
Weaseled its way.
Weaseled his way into there. And ever since it's been Big Papa E, it's so weird because it's almost like a cartoon character. It's weird. I love that people have expectations from the name Big Papa E. And then when I come up on stage, people think, okay, this is not what I was expecting. But at the end of it, they're like, no, he's got an inner Big Papa E. He's got a Big Papa E inside. Wanting to come out. So it's always been kind of cool because a lot of the stuff that I do is about confronting expectations or prejudice or assumptions and turning them on their ear. So the whole Big Papa E thing forces you immediately to do that with me because you have expectations of like, you ever see the movie The Green Mile?
Yeah.
The big gigantic dude with like, that's what you expect, you know, with like the gold grill and the clock and he's gonna come and do hip hop stuff and it's just like me. And it confronts your expectations. Hey, everybody's like, so that's where it came from, and I've tried to get rid of it because Big Papa E has now become this larger-than-life cartoon character that I have to explain, but they won't let me get rid of it, so I've kind of decided to just
live with it.
Who I am. Big Papa E. Yeah.
When after certain amount of states, you know that you went, and you go and say like, what's the deal, like high school and things like that, you know, like that.
So she asked, of the 39 states, how many high schools and stuff have I done, and how do they react? They're the best audiences I have because I get this impression that there's a lot of good teachers, but there's a lot of bad teachers. There's a lot of teachers who like couldn't figure out what to do for a job, and so they got this job. They thought, well, shoot, I'll get paid and I'll have summer vacations, and they just treat it like a job and not a passion, you know. And like when I was a kid, I wanted somebody with passion because I could not figure shit out, you know? I needed somebody to just talk to me like a real person and not talk down to me. Just help me. I just can't figure things out and I'm sad all the time and frustrated. Just talk to me and help me figure it out. You've been through this. Help me. And they just couldn't. And it seems like you have some good teachers like Mr. Doyle. You know Mr. Doyle, right? He seems like a real good guy. And he seems like he doesn't want to mess with the BS. He wants to talk to you like a real person. And that's, you get in trouble for that, you know? Right. And that's the minority because there's a lot of people who are afraid of tearing down that wall between speaker and spoken to. You know, it's like a lot of people have that attitude of like, I'm up here, you need to listen, shut up. But you have some good teachers who want to create a dialogue because I can learn just as much from this situation as you can. You are teaching me right now. We're all teachers, you know what I'm saying? So I find in the high schools, I kick the teachers out and we just talk. And everybody's so like ready to talk and be listened to. It's the best audience. And so that's why I've transferred over to do more high school stuff because it's more rewarding. And I learn more from it. You know, it's like people are like, all right, let's talk about life. And poetry is like a language that we all share because if you're into hip hop and writing lyrics and spitting rhymes and doing doing ciphers and stuff, you're doing poetry. And so a lot of people are already doing it, not even realizing that it's poetry. They're thinking, oh, it's just my raps and stuff. But no, this is the way you document your life. This is the way you write down what you see and your interpretations of life, and you hand it to somebody and say, this is what I'm going through. You go, that's exactly what I'm going through. And then a connection has been made, you know? And people in high school are so eager for someone to just listen. And I love it. And that's why I say everybody's the same everywhere you go. There's little differences, you know, like some places don't have a Waffle House, which is a shame. I'm like ready to go get some Waffle House.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love doing it.
Other than poetry, what are some of your other hobbies?
Other hobbies? I do a lot of work on a computer because this is all I do is poetry. But a lot of the work has to do with, like, say, you know, putting out a book. You know, I just did this on my computer. I did the graphics and I put it together in book form and I had it printed and stuff. And so I do a lot of graphic design. So people ask me to do their websites or posters and stuff like that. So I get some money on the side to do that. And I love music. Love music. I listen to it constantly because I'm in front of a computer all day. Unfortunately, my hand's broken, so I can't write very well with my hands. So which is weird. I can type like 80 words a minute, but I can't write with my hand very well because my pinky's broken. So I spend a lot of time on the computer, so I have the music playing all day long. I got like a 250 gig external hard drive that's almost full of music. Like y'all know what iTunes is?
Yeah.
I have iTunes and it tells me, you know, if you were to play every single song without repeat, it would last this many days. I think it says I have 95 days of music. Like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It would play for 90 days without repeating. That's how much music I have. And even though I don't have enough time in my whole entire life to listen to it, I'm wanting more all the time. I'll get more music all the time. Anybody like Mos Def? Most Def is really good stuff. Anybody like Kanye?
Yeah.
Anybody like Lupe Fiasco?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody like Soulja Boy? I'm so tired. You know, I was at a high school in Arkansas the other day, and they were like, I was doing questions and answers. I was like, go ahead. She's like, can you do the Soulja Boy? Dear God.
Yay.
No, I don't want to do Soulja. I'll do the Big Papa Eat. Y'all want to know how to do the Big Papa Eat?
Yeah.
Did you see the video of me doing the Big Papa Eat?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's that I'm a wussy boy and I'm embarrassed to dance. And there are some stereotypes most stereotypes are not true. Okay, but the stereotype about like white people not having rhythm, unfortunately for me, is true. I have no rhythm at all, and so I can't dance. So here's how I dance. Ready? First off, you plant your feet on the ground and never remove them from the ground. Never remove them from the ground, right? And then you bounce. Okay, this is the most movement you're allowed, right? So this is what it's almost like aerobics. And every time, maybe this is like, oh damn, watch out, okay? So here's the first position. Go like this. It's as if you're fending off attackers, okay? It's called the open pose. Ready? First you bounce and do the open pose. And you gotta look around as though everybody's watching. You're like, yeah, that's right, I'm doing one. The second move is the raise the roof. Ready? Notice the feet never leave the ground. Then there's the combo. Ready? If you're feeling really kind of fancy, there's the clap and spin and the shake your moneymaker.
Yeah, sit on flat ground.
Okay. This is the only movement this is the only time you're allowed to move your feet. Ready? So the whole shebang. Ready? Give me a beat. Give me a beat. And the other one is friends don't let friends dance. But then again, if you watch people, if you stand in the corner like afraid to dance, if you just watch people, nobody knows how to dance, and all y'all look goofy. And mostly, okay, here we go. When I was in 8th grade, and you had a girlfriend, and like parents were gone, you go into the basement and pretty much do what people now do on the dance floor. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like this. What is this? This is not dancing. Dancing. I don't see any open clothes. So I don't know. It's hard for me to dance because it just looks like a whole lot of throbbing and chafing now. It doesn't look like dancing at all. I like to just dance. I don't want to do the booty clap clap, booty clap clap. That's not dancing. That's nasty. Is what that is.
Is there ever a time like whenever you write poetry or something, it feel like you go blank, you feel like you don't have nothing to write?
I feel like that all the time. I feel like swollen with the potential to write, you know, where I feel like, man, I'm ready, you know, when you're perfectly ready to do something, you're like, I'm ready, bring it, let's go, and then, just not to write, and I can't think of what to write. I get so sometimes intimidated because you want to write a poem from the beginning. You want to make the first word you write down, the first word of the poem, and if it's not perfect, you want to write again. You want to wait till it's perfect, and you can wait your whole life, you know? It's kind of like if you're going to go digging for diamonds, you don't just go, ding, hey, a diamond. I mean, you gotta dig a pile of dirt to the ceiling of stuff that you're never going to use before you find the smallest diamond. And writing is like that, you know? So what I try to do is just not think about it. I'll just start writing an email to my friend, or I'll just start writing something. I'll just say, yeah, that's what I did today, and this is what I'm feeling. I feel like I'm swallowing with potential. I really want to write something. I'll just start writing off the top of my head as if I'm talking to somebody. And eventually, that's the digging part. You know, I'm digging for gold. And eventually, I'll express myself in a way that's kind of dope. I'll be like, yeah, that was kind of cool. I'm going to put that right over here. And I'll just keep writing, you know? And at the end of writing, I'll just write until I'll just write in normal language. I won't try to write a poem. I'll just start talking, like babbling, like somebody like the crazy person at the bus stop. I'll just be like, and the weather is this, and I like ice cream, and I like pigs, and look there, I never had a chicken wing before, and I'll just start writing. It doesn't matter what you write. It's just the fact that you're digging, right? And eventually you have this big old gigantic mess that you're never going to use. And the whole purpose of writing this much was to get that little bit of gold. And you're like, that. I could build a poem around that. And I carry it in a notebook everywhere I go. Kind of like my philosophy is that, you know, people talk about what do you do for a living? I live for a living. That's what I do. I don't define myself by my job. My job is what I do to pay my rent, and it's something you have to necessarily do. You got responsibilities, you know? But that's not how I define myself. I am not the Slurpee guy at 7-Eleven. Even though I've worked as the Slurpee guy at 7-Eleven, I'm more than the Slurpee guy at 7-Eleven, you know? I'm a human, you know? I define myself in more ways than just, you know, how I earn my money. So I feel like if you're going to go to work, and life is your work, you got to bring your tools. You know, like a carpenter doesn't show up to build a house in flip-flops and a t-shirt without a hammer, you know? It's like, go back home and get your tools. So everywhere I go, I have 2 pens and I have my notebook. Because you never know when something's going to happen. Anybody who writes lyrics will tell you this. You have to bring a notebook everywhere. Because you could be standing at the bus and suddenly, you know, something will happen like, this might sound cheesy, but you'll see like a little kid in bare feet chasing after a butterfly. And of course you can look, because they got those big heads. You know how little kids, like they follow their heads. They're like, you know? So you got the big-headed little kid going like that, and so focused on the butterfly, and they fall and they trip and they skin their ankle. You're like, oh, he's gonna start crying. But the little kid just gets up and it keeps on going for the butterfly because they're so focused on the butterfly. And you're like, something about that is life right there. Something about that is important. I don't know what it is, but it's important. So I'll take out my notebook and I'll write it down. Like, look at here. These are the notes I took just on the airplane trip here. I'll just
you think all day long, and you'll think about things that are important to you, and you don't know necessarily what to do with them, but for some reason they're, like, look at here, this is just from the plane trip. You see? They're just like little ideas, little things I noticed, the way the girl next to me smells, and it makes me think of childhood for some reason. Or like I ate a plum, and it made me think of my grandma. I don't know why. Why would a plum make me think of my grandma?
I'm not good.
Yeah, my gangster grandma too. And I was like, what about this plum makes me think of childhood? So I started writing it down so I can start exploring it. Well, eventually, I'll go through this and be like, dang, there's a theme here. I was feeling a particular way. And like say, all the connections are to childhood. Things that make me think of childhood. Like those big old trees that y'all have with Spanish moss hanging down. That's very specific to this area of the country. That don't have that stuff everywhere. And I remember seeing trees like that when I was a kid. And I was like, man, all this stuff shows that I've been thinking about childhood a lot lately. So maybe I need to explore that. And also God. When I fly, I get real religious. You know what I'm saying? Like me and God, have a difficult relationship, okay? God's over here going like, and I'm over here going like this. But when it comes to flying, I'm like, God. God, hey God, what's up? I know it's been a while, but I need to get there safe. Help me. I get real religious. If church was in the shape of an airplane, I would know exactly what to do. Because I pray, and I'll be praying to everybody. Buddha, Jesus, Hindu gods with 8 arms, Scientology. I'll pray to anybody who will listen when I'm on an airplane. But all that is in here, and then eventually it's going to become a poem. But if you don't take note of your life, nobody else is going to, and it'll be like you never existed. But it's important to remember this because, like I said, the teachers that forget what it's like to be in your shoes, you're going to forget what it's like to live in your skin, and you are going to be confronted with a kid just like you, and you're like, they're from freaking Venus. I don't remember being that stupid when I was 15. Well, the thing is, you just don't remember what it was like. And if you write it down now, even though you'll cringe later, you'll be like, oh, geez, that's so cheesy. It's you. You're in there. And you should honor that person by writing it down or committing it to music or song or art or something. Keep it so that you'll remember where it is, because that's how you measure how far you've come. You can read it and go like, man, I remember that. And I've come a long way since then. And that allows you to mark space between now and then and growth, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of rambling a little bit. Let me get some water. Did that even come close to answering your question?
I know, I forgot. Oh, yeah,
Right. If you can breathe, you're not blank. So I would say, don't try to write a poem. Just try to write. It's like when you're having a conversation right now, you don't have to think about what you're doing. We can have a conversation right now. I can ask you a question. You can tell me things. Bam, you're not blocked anymore. So I would say, just talk in normal language, write to a friend in your mind, and that process will bring it out. So ask me one more question, I'll do another poem.
Like when you write your poetry, what do you mainly focus on, or do you just do different topics, or whatever comes to you?
I try to be open to everything, but I can see when I look back at my stuff, there are themes running through it, Like free and proud of who you are, even though maybe people make fun of you. If you're like the short kid who can say, damn right I'm short, then you're not so short anymore, It's the shame that keeps you down, If you're being pushed into a situation because of who you are, what you look like, or where you came from, and if you allow that to fill you with shame, that's the way people keep you down and manipulate you. But if you're like, damn straight, I'm from Moss Point, you know what I'm saying? And you empower yourself to be prideful in that, then they can't hurt you, It's like when people, turn the word queer around and say, damn right I'm queer. Well, you can't use that word to hurt them anymore. It's like I take pride in that, damn straight, And there's anything like that. That's kind of like one of the themes of my work is having pride in who you are. As dorky and goofy and stupid and lame as you possibly could be, there's still pride in just being like, I'm not ashamed. You're the one having a problem with it, not me. You got a problem with who I am? Shh. Get out, you know, that's your problem, you know. If you can't handle how strong of a person I am, if you expect me to be a weak person, that's your thing. It has nothing to do with me. So I think those are some of the themes that
You write, you like focus your poem like on a certain percentage or like a subject, or like you just write about any of everything, or like whatever.
I just keep notes about stuff, and sometimes, you know, something will happen where it just feels like people would understand where I was coming from, you know? And I write every day, so I tend to write about all kinds of stuff. I don't have any limitations. But there are certain things that I believe in, like, you know, I'm not down with capitalism. A lot of the politics and stuff just makes me mad. Anybody here for John McCain?
From what?
Anybody here for Hillary Clinton? Anybody here for Barack Obama? Oh, did you? I shook his hand.
Yeah, we got to shake his hand.
You got to shake his hand? Man, something about Barack Obama just makes me think, like, I believe in him. Not just that I believe in the things that he's saying, but I just believe, like, there's something important there, you know, that I haven't seen in politics. And I'm not really interested in politics because I always feel it's nothing to do with me. But I don't get that feeling with Barack Obama. I think, like, I'm down with some Barack Obama. Where I'm from in Austin, Texas, everybody's down with some Barack Obama. So I'm hoping. Are we done? No. What's that beat me?
Hey, we got to go, buddy.
How long do we have?
Poppy, we got to be somewhere.
Where do I have to do?
We got to be Miss Butler's class for third period.
When's that start?
5 minutes.
1-5. Oh, here. I'll do some quick haiku, and then we'll go. And I'll do. I ain't gonna give nobody a book. But you're gonna hear. Are you gonna come to the assembly?
Yeah.
That's when I'm gonna do all my poetry. But give me, I write little bitty poems. They're called haiku. They're only 17 syllables. So give me your birthday, and I'll tell you the haiku I wrote.
April 13th.
What's that?
April 13th.
You said
He talking to Candy.
August 27th. August 2nd. It's about a girl. We press our bodies together so tightly, our ribs become tangled. That's nasty. April 13th. August 2nd.
March 17th.
Calm down.
Here you go. Whose birthday was it? I wanted her to spoon me, but she ended up knifing me.
Okay, March 17th.
Don't get
over my shoulder.
Yep.
My lover is at her most beautiful, and she is singing to me.
November
24? 24?
24. That was great.
Oh, somebody will. Shut up now. November what?
24.
This is about a girl. Pressed petals of a lavender rose beckon from her belly button.
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Yeah, what you been doing?
If life gives you lemons, squeeze lemon juice in its stupid eyeball.
Wow.
August 2nd. May 12th? Your birthday's, mine's May 11th. My birthday's Sunday. May 12th.
Monday?
Yes.
How's your be 14?
Oh my God, you like me so old.
For sale, one childhood, mint condition, barely used. Free or best offer.
Hey, May 8th.
No, I'm for the sixth.
You do my last one.
Okay, May 8th.
9:30 a.m. The breakfast of champions. Cherry Pop-Tarts. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Oh.
So I'll see you guys. At the assembly. It's like 6 and 7. 6 period, yeah. Hey man, I'm Eric.
They're in the cafeteria. I'm good. I'm gonna be seeing you drum this afternoon. So you all staying for drama club?
Oh heck yeah, I'm all day.
Steven, home to class.
Hey, tell them what I'm doing. Yeah, I've got an extra one. You did? Yeah, remember I gave it to Alexis?
Turn around.
I gave him a sign Alexis. Are they gonna take these? See if I can.
I'm not gonna, if you have it signed, I don't think they're gonna get it confused with anybody.
Yeah, I'm just gonna show it to them.
request.
What?
We have a request.
Oh, what's your what?
Right. When you when you get ready to leave, write about your experience in Moss Point.
And then send it to y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it for sure. Okay, I'll do that
Hey.
for sure. I always do that.
Could do you have an email that I could possibly get?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to give my MySpace.
I don't have it. I need to make my
We can put it on the school's website.
Yeah, we
That's
can
no
put it on the
problem.
school website.
Yeah, sure.
Put Alexis on there.
Although we're not condoning going to MySpace here.
Oh, we don't do MySpace here?
Well, you can't get on it from the school.
We do C-Tunnel here.
Everybody knows how to get past it. So.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Justin.
Justin, that's right.
That'd be a quick little edit.
Oh, bird. I do a lot of poetry myself. I'm a big emo.
Oh, emo.
He's
king of the emos.
we're kind of all
It's
emo
not
at this
really
school,
emo.
but yeah.
Everybody
Like
just
in
says
their
it's
own
the way
way.
we dress, but like me, I can be the most cheerful guy, but everybody still calls me emo.
Yeah, totally.
But it's just the way we dress.
You should hear him in 56 period.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Is that where I'm going now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go to the door.
I told you I love poetry.
No, down here. It's down here. I was just talking about the window. Both of them are broken. Yeah. No, ours is still ours is out. He took it out. He didn't. He just took it out. It fell out.
Oh my God, it's fucking man. Oh.
Miss Foster, how you doing?
Hey, Willie, what's that? I don't think
Where is this? All right, now, yeah, I guess.
Is this my next Hey.
We gotta go to Butler's class.
Yeah, we had a good time. The Tigers were awesome.
Yeah. You need a pass?
Hey,
No, my teacher won't care.
we're going back to the auditorium. Zara, I love you even though you broke my heart. Yeah, dude, we're gonna edit that part out. Hey, where are we going now? Back to where we
Right, well, you can. And I'm gonna.
See, this is why I put my luggage on wheels. That way I don't have to drag it around all the time. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Is there food here? Is there a cafeteria?
Yeah, there's a
Is it-
cafeteria
Is it
downstairs.
nasty?
Yeah.
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 When's lunch period? Is there a certain?
Fourth period. When the bell rings again, it'll be lunch.
I'm gonna get me something to eat.
Sonic's just right down the
You might
road.
want to take a few little tester tastes first.
Yeah.
Little tester taste.
Hey, we're
If you come
your
with us,
entourage.
we'll take you to class.
Nice. You guys are my posse. I've always wanted to ride with a posse.
We can take.
We'll take care of it.
Yeah, we can take you to lunch with us when we go. We got.
I haven't eaten since the airport in Austin yesterday.
Well, how about we just take it to Subway? You don't want to eat this.
Oh, here you go. Subway's nice.
Subway, Sonic, Waffle House. Let's go to Waffle House.
If it's Canelo, I don't want to take him to this cafeteria.
Right there.
Police station.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Security officer.
only in Moss Point.
No, they got paperwork.
I know. I'll set this back in its spot that it was.
We're gonna move a little bit more forward, actually.
You know what I'm
Right here.
This is Miss Butler's class. How y'all doing? So, check it out. My name is Big Papa E. I do poetry. Has anybody seen my stuff on YouTube? Yeah. Oh, good. So, a lot of you have not seen it. That's good, because then I'll be able to perform some stuff without doing any repeats. I'm from Austin, Texas. I do poetry for a living. That's all I do. And it's kind of a tough living because it's hard to pay the bills. But it's pretty darn good living. I have a good time with it. Everybody ever heard of Deaf Poetry on HBO? I've done that 3 times. And so y'all ever heard of Most Deaf?
Yes.
Most Def, best rapper in Number One Road. I met him a couple times. So anyway, that's where I came from, and I just want to do some poetry for you. And then I just want to talk. So if anything pops in your head about anything at all, I'm just going to stop everything and we're just going to talk. But first, I'll do a poem. How are you? What's your name?
Mrs. Butler.
How are you, Mrs. Butler? I'm Mr. Ott.
Totally.
Or Mr. E. Mr. Papa E. Here's a poem about everything that's important to me. I started doing college shows around 2000, and I tend to like funny stuff. Anybody ever heard of Dane Cook? Anybody ever heard of Chris Rock?
Oh, yeah.
I tend to do stuff kind of like that, and I cuss a lot. But I started doing high schools, and it's just not appropriate to do that in high schools. So I started writing from a different perspective. And I figured, like, if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, what would I want to leave behind? And I wasn't necessarily proud of what I would have left behind, so I started writing from a different place. And so this was the poem I wrote for me. It's like if I was back 15, 16 years old, sophomore in high school, this is what I wish someone had told me when I was a kid. It's called Property. This one goes out to those who refuse to be defined, who look at government forms as a challenge, who see the safe little boxes next to Caucasian and Asian, Black and Hispanic, and make their own little box labeled all of the above, who scratch out the question entirely and write their own names in large capital letters, who, when forced to choose between male and female, write instead, see attached 27-page document detailing why my gender and sexuality will never fit within the confines of your stupid little boxes. This one goes out to those who fight every day for the simple right to exist. For every gay kid ever beaten up for being gay. For every straight kid ever beaten up for being gay. For every girl who looks into the hungry eyes of magazine models and shouts, I don't need the body of a skinny 12-year-old boy to be beautiful. Gaze at my thick thighs with envy. For every boy who winces when his friends measure their masculinity by how many girls they screw over and are man enough to call them out for it. For every girl who screamed enough and marched with her sisters to take back the night for monsters who would rather they stay at home afraid. For every band geek who picked up a guitar or drumsticks or French horn instead of a bomb. For every poet who picked up a pen instead of a gun and expressed their anger with words and not blood. For every jock who refused to see those physically weaker than them as less than them. And for every teacher who risked their jobs by simply being there when no one else would. This one goes out to you. To those who refuse to define themselves by their clothes they wear, the music they listen to those who demand to be defined by their actions, not by their factions, who can't wait to turn 18 so they can finally vote those idiots out of office, who refuse to be passive consumers in the self-centered nation and throw away their televisions and make their own movies, who throw out their PlayStations and make their own video games, who teach themselves to play their own music and write their own novels and create their own art. But most of all, this one goes out to the kid listening right now who thinks I cannot possibly be talking about them. The quiet kid, the one who never speaks, who never raises his voice or his hand. The one with no friends, who's never been out on a date, the one ignored by parents, by teachers, by other kids. Yes, this one goes out to you most of all. Know this. I understand. I hear you. I used to be you. Don't you let anyone say your voice has no value. Raise your voice, kid, and don't ever stop. Okay, so when I do like this, everybody applaud furiously. Ready? And practice. I want to hear some clapping. I want to hear some ruse. Ready? And it's me, Bobby. That was more like a boo. I don't want to hear boo. I want to hear woo. You won't cry. I can make fun of emos because I was emo back when you just called being sad all the time. Want to hear a joke? How many Big Papa E's does it take to screw in a light bulb? 0, because he'd rather stay in his dark, lonely room alone at night and cry. So I think it's really important. I think it's really important to write about your experiences, to document what your life is like. Because you ever have those teachers who just you wonder, were you ever 15? Why are you such an idiot? There's no connection here, right? But then you have the special teachers, the cool teachers, the kick-ass teachers who actually can connect with you and talk to you like a real person. Like, some people just forget what it's like to be in your skin right now. And you will forget too. You'll get to be 30 or 40 and you'll have a kid the same age as your kid right now and you won't know how to talk to him. You have forgotten what it was like to just be who you are right now. So if you don't write it down, you're going to forget too, and that person is dead. The person you are now will die if you don't document this part of your life. I think it's very important. But I'm lazy, so I have to force myself to write. So I do this thing called haiku. Anybody know what a haiku is? Here's what a haiku is. It's a tiny itty-bitty poem. It's 17 syllables, 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Usually about nature and the passage of time, because it's a Japanese poem. But I just write about any old thing. And I write every single day. So I put together all my haiku into a book with the dates. So I can actually read the haiku I wrote on your birthday. So when were you born? You? John or Frost? What's your birthday? April 14th.
All right, that's it.
I'll read you the poem I wrote on your birthday. $7.95. Cold bagel, cream cheese, small Coke. I hate airplane food. That's it. That's it. There you go. I travel a lot. I get flown all over the place. And if you're ever in an airport, the food is terrible and it's overpriced. And so that was like my day because I was flying to Alaska. And that's how I documented that day. Because that day was all about travel, and I hate flying, and I hate airplane food. And that's what was left from that whole entire day. Other than that, I don't remember a thing about that day. But at least I have this. What's your birthday?
June 22nd.
June 22nd. That's 6, right? June 22nd.
Bro.
Here we go.
Cell phones one.
I just do this for a living. I just write poetry and I perform poetry. But sometimes, you know, I got bills to pay. And sometimes I got to take a second job just to make ends meet. You know, lots of people have to do that, work 2 or 3 jobs. And my parents worked 2 or 3 jobs. My mom was 17 when she had me as a kid. And my dad was only 20. And he was working like 3 jobs to make ends meet. You know, you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes I worked in a mall. I hate working at a shopping mall, but this is the poem I wrote. If you dress sexy to go to the mall, you're probably 14. That's it.
Oh.
People dress scandalous to go to the mall. It's scandalous. What's your birthday? May 18th. It's coming up, right? Okay. My birthday is this Sunday, May 11th.
Woo!
Woo! How old do you think I am?
36.
Be nice. Come on now.
30. 41. 4.
You already know. Shut up.
71.
I was 41.
No, man.
So what was it, May 11th? 18th.
Louis Butler birthday.
Okay. This was, I was in Alaska around this time too. And Alaska is just beautiful. We had climbed up on top of this big mountain and there was no cities around. There was just this big old mountain and blue skies and trees. As far as you could see, it was so beautiful. I'd never been there before.
Was it cold?
No, it was actually warm and humid, and there were big mosquitoes. And you could hear, ooh, like gigantic mosquitoes. Like when they would land on you, you would feel like like your arm would go down a little bit because they're so heavy. They're big, and they would leave big welts on you. They're nasty mosquitoes. But I wrote this poem on top of a mountain. 11 a.m. The Alaskan sky is blue, blue as my girlfriend's eyes.
Tyrell? That's your birthday, bro?
Here you go. This is about like, you ever just like feel so frustrated you're looking for someone to blame? And it's irrational and you're upset and you just want to be angry at somebody. You want to find the cause of everybody's problem. And usually it's somebody who had no idea, you know? Like you come home and you're like, blah! It's like, I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that, you know? And then arguments start. This is about that. Everything is your fault, he screams, pointing his finger at the mirror.
September 5th.
October 2nd.
Queer's birthday.
Okay, here we go. Oh, look at here. I used to date this girl. She's so pretty. Just so pretty. And she had she was from Mississippi. The faint ghost of Mississippi haunts her voice. Because she had this tiny little bit of an accent. And she tried to erase it because she didn't want people to know where she was from. You could still hear, especially when she was upset, she had a little bit of a twang in her voice. The faint ghost of Mississippi haunts her voice.
What's up, Meech?
May 8th?
Meech.
What did you have?
Meech.
That's today's your birthday. Do you know him? Today's your birthday.
Do you know him?
What's your name? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Timothy's birthday.
Woo!
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Come on, louder. Happy birthday.
Justin joined it. Come on, Cleve.
Happy birthday, dear Timmy. Happy birthday to you, Big Bobby.
Hey, Tim, how old are you, man?
Happy birthday to you.
How old are you?
So you made Cleve.
All right, so I'll do one more. Happy birthday. February 9th.
Queer.